I'm Karin. Welcome to my kitchen. Frozen fish. We all have bad memories of that. Dry, flaky, mushy, no flavor. And you stink up the house just for that. But it doesn't have to be that way. First of all, there's some great frozen fish on the market. Sustainably sourced, caught by small fishing outfits, and the way we cook it has everything to do with the outcome as well. So if we're going to get that delightful fishy aroma in our homes, let's make it worth it. Today I'm cooking some beautiful salmon that was flash frozen on the boat. I thawed it in the refrigerator, but you could also thaw it under running cold water. We're going to cook it with one of my favorite sauces, fish sauce caramel. Make sure you're not wearing anything too nice when you make this meal. First, we're going to take out our salmon from the packaging so that we can cut it into portions and pat the skin dry. That's key here. Give it a feel. This one is such a nice product that it still has the little pin bones in it, so we're going to need to take those out. I'm using special fish tweezers built for this exact purpose, but if you don't have those, you could use sanitized bathroom tweezers or a small needle nose plier. I also used a cup of cold water for discarding the bones. Next, I'm trimming the fillet into 2 neat pieces and reserving the trimmings for a future project. Finally, we pat the skin dry and set the fish aside skin side up until we're ready to cook it. For fish sauce caramel, we need sugar, fish sauce, and if you have it, rice wine vinegar, but that's not absolutely necessary. I like using the 3 Crabs brand of fish sauce or the Red Boat kind. That's not sponsored. I'm going to start by heating this pan on a very low heat, dumping the sugar in. We're making a dry caramel, so that means that all there is sugar and heat involved in this process. There's no additional liquid right now, but you really have to keep your eye on it. I'm going to use wild rice tonight because we're actually pairing this with a Pinot Noir. I like kind of the deeper, darker flavor of the wild rice, and I also have a lot. I've already cooked some broken wild rice here. You could also use leftover rice. We're going to add some vegetables to this rice, and I'm just going to cook those and let those hang out on the side while we're getting our fish stuff ready. The pan for the vegetables is on medium heat. I'm just going to add a little sesame oil. You can see that our sugar is just beginning to melt. I'm not really going to stir the sugar, just kind of pulling the dry stuff into the already melted stuff. As you notice the sugar beginning to caramelize, it's important to keep the heat on low or else it will quickly burn. Meanwhile, the vegetables are looking good, so I'm taking a moment to add some of the rice. I'll add some extra oil and salt as well. Don't stir the caramel too much here. Let the gentle heat do its trick. While you're waiting, you can get some boiling water ready. We'll need that once we start adding our liquids. The caramel is almost as dark as it needs to be. Now I'm going to add our liquids. This part goes fast. I'm adding the fish sauce first, about 1/3 of a cup. I've turned the heat off and I'm vigorously stirring in between pours. Next, I'm adding a couple tablespoons of rice vinegar, followed by 1/4 cup or less of hot water. Today, I'm adding a few slices of ginger as well. I have our fish pan ready here. It's hot, but not smoking hot. It's about medium. We have the fish salted. We're going to add it to the pan. We're going to cook the fish most of the way on the skin side, then we'll flip it over, put a little sauce on it, and just finish it barely in the oven. I added some broccoli into the rice pan, and you can see I didn't use all the rice. I'm going to use the rest of that rice in a meatball recipe next week, so stay tuned for the saga of the wild rice. Our salmon is coming along nicely, but it has a little longer to go. This is going to be a lot of flavor, but we still need to try the sauce. Oh, but it's good. We're looking for just the right balance of sweet and that, well, honestly, the stinky fish sauce flavor. But that's what gives it its saltiness. It's not like super thick. You don't want it to be too thick or else it's really a pain to work with. You can adjust this with your hot water. Our salmon is looking great. All right, you're gonna flip these guys. After giving the salmon just seconds in the pan on the flesh side, I transferred it to a new dish so it won't cook too much. Caramel goes on, then under the broiler. Oh yes. This salmon has crispy skin, is tender, and anything but boring with the vibrant fish sauce caramel and the deep nuttiness from the wild rice. Red wine and fish, you say? Uh-huh. This is worth all the smells that will linger in my house for the next week. And it's going to go great with this Pinot Noir that my friend Erin is going to tell you about. I'm Karin, and thanks again for joining me in my kitchen. Most of us have sustainably sourced, caught by small fishermen, sustainably sourced, caught by